Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. I never knew laughter could feel like a knife until tonight. It happened in our kitchen, warm lights glowing softly, the faint smell of garlic and butter still hanging in the air from dinner. I was rinsing plates, sleeves rolled up, hands wet. She leaned against the counter, wine glass in her hand, swirling it slowly like she was waiting for the perfect moment to speak. She giggled first. A light, playful sound. The kind she used to make when we first fell in love. If I ever go to Vegas with my girls, she said, smiling, you better not ask questions. Vegas secrets stay in Vegas. She took a sip, watching me carefully. It was a joke. At least she wanted it to sound like one. But something about her tone felt sharp, forced, a little too bold. My heart squeezed, confusion rushing in like cold water. I tried to laugh, but the sound caught in my throat. I turned off the faucet. Slowly. Funny, I whispered. My voice sounded stiff, strange. What if I said that about Mike? You know, if he and I went somewhere and I came back saying no questions allowed. Her smile froze. Then it cracked. The glass clinked when she set it down. Her fingers trembled. Her jaw tightened just enough for me to notice, just enough to confirm what I had been afraid to see. She tried to recover, but it was too late. What does Mike have to do with anything? She asked, tone suddenly sharp, defensive. Her voice trembled like she felt cornered. I wiped my hands on a towel, staring at her. My chest felt heavy, my pulse unsteady. For weeks I had felt something shifting. Messages she hid quickly, late-night phone calls she said were from her sister, sudden interest in her appearance before errands that used to require nothing more than a ponytail and lip balm. I pushed those doubts away, convinced myself it was stress or insecurity or my imagination. But fear has a smell, a taste, a heartbeat. And right now, I could feel it dripping off her. I just thought, I said softly, if you're allowed secrets, then so am I. Her eyes widened, real panic flickering behind them for a second. She parted her lips, then closed them again. She wanted to say something, deny something, but her silence said more than any lie could. That silence was my answer. The room suddenly felt colder. The low hum of the refrigerator grew louder. The ticking of the clock stretched into the air like a reminder of every wasted second. My heartbeat thudded in my ears. Finally she spoke. You are being ridiculous. It was just a joke. No, I replied, stepping closer. It felt like a test. Or a confession wrapped as humor. Which is it? Her eyes darted away. Left. Right. Down. Anywhere except mine. I said it was a joke, she muttered. Her voice had lost its brightness. It sounded small, thin, fragile. Then tell me why you reacted like that when I mentioned him. She swallowed hard. I watched her throat move. I suddenly hated the sight of it. I remembered every moment I ever kissed that neck, every time I whispered love there. My stomach churned. She didn't answer. Her breathing quickened. My own voice softened, almost cracking. How long? She froze again. Completely still. Like she thought if she didn't breathe, the truth would disappear. I felt a weight press into my chest, crushing the air out of me. Tears burned behind my eyes but I refused to let them fall. Not yet. Shock wrapped around me like ice. Part of me wished she would lie. I was desperate for a lie. Something to cling to, even if it hurt later. I wanted to believe I was overreacting, that this was nothing but insecurity clawing at my heart. But betrayal has a quiet face. And right now I was staring at it. You are jumping to conclusions, she whispered finally, voice breaking just a little. And honestly, it's insulting. Insulting. I stepped back, breath trembling. Insulting is pretending to be mine while giving pieces of yourself to someone else. Her eyes glimmered with unshed tears, but guilt clung to her expression like smoke. She opened her mouth, probably to deny again, but I lifted my hand gently and she stopped. Not out of respect. Out of fear. I haven't done anything, she said, words shaky, almost whispered. Nothing happened. But her voice trembled like she already knew I didn't believe her. Maybe she didn't believe herself either. I inhaled deeply, trying to keep my voice steady. even though my insides shook like a storm was tearing through me. If nothing happened, then why do you look like you're drowning? Silence again. She didn't answer because she couldn't. And that was the moment I felt something inside me crack. A quiet fracture. Not loud or explosive. Just a slow, devastating break that spread through my heart like frost. I never imagined this would be us. I loved her. I trusted her. I believed in us with a sincerity that now felt childish. Stupid. Weak. My throat tightened. My voice dropped to a whisper. Tell me the truth. She blinked rapidly, like she was searching for a version of reality she could say without breaking us. Or maybe she was deciding which lie would sound convincing enough. Her lips parted. She inhaled. She wavered on the edge of confession or denial. But before she spoke, before she ruined us or saved us, something strange happened inside me. I suddenly realized I wasn't afraid of her answer anymore. The fear had already done its damage. The trust had already shattered. Whether she admitted it or not, I already knew. I felt numb. I turned slightly, reaching for the towel again, just to have something to hold. My fingers shook so hard it slipped from my grasp and fell to the floor. She flinched at the sound. I looked at her. Really looked. This woman I adored. This woman who swore she loved me more than anything. This woman whose smile once felt like sunlight. Right now she looked like a stranger standing in my kitchen. Say something, I whispered. She opened her mouth. And then the front door clicked. Footsteps outside. A voice humming. Her body stiffened. My heart stopped. The humming grew louder, careless and cheerful, a sound that did not belong in this fragile moment. Her eyes widened in terror and she took one step back instinctively, like someone caught in a crime scene. I felt my pulse throb in my throat. My fingers curled around the edge of the counter to keep me steady. That humming. I knew it. Light, youthful, lazy. Like someone who had never carried guilt a day in his life. The door opened fully and Mike walked in, hoodie on, keys dangling from his hand. He paused mid-step when he saw us frozen in the kitchen, the tension thick enough to choke on. His humming died instantly. His gaze moved from me to her and back again. He tried to smile but something in my expression must have stopped him. His face paled and the fakies drained out of him like cold water. Oh, you are home, he said slowly. His voice was tight, forced. I studied him. The slight flush in his cheeks. The way his hand clenched the keys. The nervous flick of his eyes toward her. I had known him for years, trusted him, laughed with him, called him a brother in all but blood. Now I saw something else. A shadow where loyalty used to be. My wife swallowed hard. She looked like she expected the floor to open and swallow her whole. I could feel my own breath shortening, each inhale burning like smoke. Mike, I said quietly. The name tasted bitter. Funny timing. He cleared his throat. Yeah. I just came to drop off the charger she borrowed. I did not know you were here. It was such a small lie. Pathetic. And yet it shattered me more than a shouted confession ever could. We have chargers, I replied. My voice was calm but it felt like someone else was speaking for me. Plenty of them. In fact, I just bought 2 last week. Silence filled the room like a thick fog. He glanced at her again, searching her face for guidance, but she did not move. Her stillness betrayed her more than anything else could. I looked at her hands. She was squeezing the edge of the counter so tight her knuckles turned white. That was all I needed. People do not cling to countertops when they are innocent. How long? I asked him. The words were soft, almost gentle. I surprised myself with how steady they sounded. He did not answer. She finally found her voice first. It is not what you think, she whispered, trembling. Then say what it is, I replied, turning to her. Define it. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Her eyes glistened. Tears, fear, panic. None of it moved me anymore. Mike shifted. We never meant to hurt you. It just happened. There it was. For words that stabbed deeper than betrayal itself. It just happened. Like falling in love was an accident. Like breaking trust was a slip. Like destroying someone you swore to protect was a moment of weakness instead of a choice. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream, break something, crumble to the floor. But a strange calm settled over me instead. Almost peaceful. How long? I repeated. He hesitated, then whispered, 3 months. 3 months. 90 days. So many nights she kissed my forehead and told me she loved me before rolling over to check her phone. So many mornings she smiled at me while thinking about someone else. My voice cracked. 3 months while I thought you two were just close because you worked out together. Because you both liked hiking. Because you said he felt like a little brother to me. 3 months while I defended you both to everyone. She sobbed quietly now. Not loud. Just the sound of a soul crumbling. I used to hate hearing her cry. I used to do anything to stop it. Now the sound barely touched me. Please, she whispered. We can fix this. I stared at her. Fix. As if trust was a lamp that just needed glue. As if love could cover an infection. No, I said. The word came out soft but solid. Unbreakable. We cannot fix what you decided to break. Mike stepped forward slightly. I am sorry. Really? I raised my hand and he stopped instantly. One more step and I might have thrown him through a wall. I trusted you, I said quietly. I trusted both of you. My wife moved toward me like she wanted to reach for my hand. I stepped back. She flinched like I had slapped her. I love you, she whispered, voice shaking uncontrollably. I never stopped loving you. I looked at her with a sadness that hollowed me out. If that is what love looks like to you, then you never truly loved me. The room felt painfully small. My heart felt too big and too shattered at the same time. The air in my lungs burned. Memories flooded me. Laughter. Movie nights. Shared dreams. Plans for a future that now meant nothing. Trust does not break loudly. It breaks in silence, in moments just like this, where there are no excuses left to hide behind. I straightened my back and took a slow breath. You both need to leave. She gasped. Please do not do this. We can talk. We can fix it. We can heal. We can. We. My voice trembled. There is no we. There will never be a we again. Mike looked down, guilt written all over his face. He walked to the door quietly. She moved slower, as if each step dragged pieces of her with it. Before stepping out, she turned back to me one last time. I made a mistake. I was confused. I thought you would always be here. I thought you would never leave me. Tears finally spilled from my eyes, warm and heavy. That is the problem. You loved the security. Not me. She covered her mouth, a sharp sob escaping. But I did not move toward her. I did not soften. She stepped outside. I closed the door gently behind them. The quiet in the house was deafening. My body felt heavy and empty at the same time. I slid down to the floor slowly, back pressed to the wood, vision blurring with tears. I loved her. God, I loved her. But sometimes love has to let go for dignity to survive. A single thought whispered in my mind as I stared at the silent kitchen, the wine glass still half full, the towel on the floor where it fell. Some endings are not explosions. They are quiet doors closing on futures we thought were ours. And this time, I did not chase after her. This time, I chose myself.